My husband threw me out and seized all my assets just to hand them over to his mistress. All I have left is a worn-out debit card my father left me. I thought the balance was zero, but it ended up making the bank manager tremble with fear. Come on, tell me where you're watching from. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can unravel this mystery together. The thick, oppressive humidity of a Chicago summer hit Amara's skin the moment she stepped out of the Uber. She had spent 2 weeks in a tiny, isolated town in Wisconsin, deep in the countryside, taking care of her mother who had been critically ill. Now that her mother was stable, Amara was returning home, longing for the comfort of her luxury penthouse and, of course, her husband, Marcus. She dragged her small suitcase through the lobby of the Prestige, one of the most prestigious apartment buildings in the Gold Coast, right in the heart of Chicago's wealth. A smile spread across her face when the elevator chimed on the 42nd floor. She was exhausted but happy to be home. The hallway was cool and quiet. She arrived in front of door 42B, her penthouse. Amara dug around in her purse and pulled out the key fob for the apartment. She tapped the card against the digital reader on the door. Beep, beep. A red light flashed. Access denied. Amara frowned. She tried again. Beep, beep. That's strange. Maybe the card got demagnetized, she murmured. She rang the doorbell twice. There was a moment of silence. Then footsteps could be heard inside, followed by the soft click of the lock turning from the inside. The heavy door swung open. There stood Marcus, her husband. But he wasn't the Marcus she knew. The man's eyes were cold. He was wearing a silk robe, and on his neck there was a fresh mark of burgundy lipstick. "Ah, you're back already," Marcus said. And it wasn't a welcoming greeting. Amara's heart seemed to stop beating. "Marcus, why isn't my key working?" Amara asked. Her voice was trembling. "Because I changed the locks," Marcus replied, still blocking the entrance. From inside the apartment, the crystal-clear laughter of a woman rang out. "Baby, who is it? If it's someone selling something, tell them to get lost." A young and very beautiful woman, much younger than Amara, appeared over Marcus's shoulder. Amara recognized her instantly as Sienna, a local TikTok influencer who was gaining followers and who made Amara's stomach turn. Sienna was wearing Amara's silk robe, the very same robe Amara had gifted herself for her wedding anniversary last year. Sienna's eyes swept over Amara from top to bottom, judging her simple travel clothes, her tired face, and her worn-out suitcase. "Oh," Sienna said with a mocking smirk. "It's not a solicitor. Turns out it's the ex-wife." "Ex-wife?" "Marcus, what is this?" Amara whispered, feeling a stinging burn in her eyes. "Who is she? Why is she in our house? Why is she wearing my clothes?" Marcus sighed as if Amara were a trivial nuisance. "Listen, Amara, this is over. Better. We talk downstairs. Don't make a scene here." Marcus didn't even give her a chance to step inside. He stepped out into the hallway, closing the door behind him, leaving Sienna smiling smugly on the inside. Marcus didn't speak at all while they rode down in the elevator. Amara was petrified. Her brain wasn't capable of processing what had just happened. The smell of Sienna's perfume, an expensive scent that wasn't to her taste at all, lingered faintly on Marcus's robe. The elevator chimed, opening into the busy lobby. It was evening rush hour. A few other residents looked at them with curiosity. Marcus walked quickly toward a corner of the lobby, somewhat secluded, near a large floor-to-ceiling window overlooking Michigan Avenue. Amara followed him like a robot. "Marcus, explain this to me," Amara demanded. Her voice was barely audible. "What is there to explain?" Marcus said coldly. "Is it not clear? No. You and I are done. Finished. Just like that. After 12 years? After I took care of your father after his heart attack last year? After building with you from ground zero?" Marcus let out a cynical laugh. "Building with me from ground zero? Don't be ridiculous, Amara. I am successful thanks to my hard work. You're just a burden, especially after you spent so much time taking care of your mama in that country town. You forgot your duties as a wife." "My duties?" "Yes. Look at you," Marcus pointed at Amara with disgust, disheveled, unkempt. "I am a senior real estate investor. I need a partner on my level, not a housewife like you." Amara's jaw dropped. The man in front of her seemed like a complete stranger. "Sienna? So it's been going on this whole time?" Yeah, we've been together 15 months, Marcus said, without a shred of guilt. And she understands me much better. Suddenly, a building security guard approached, pushing a small, tattered duffel bag. The same bag Amara used when they first moved to Chicago years ago. Marcus took the bag and threw it at Amara's feet. The contents spilled out a little, just some old clothes and a wallet. Those are your things. The rest I threw out, Marcus said. Then he tossed a brown envelope onto the bag. Those are the divorce papers. I've already signed them. Inside is a settlement. All the assets, this penthouse, the cars, the company, everything is in my name. You came into this marriage with nothing. You leave with nothing. The tears finally escaped Amara's eyes. This wasn't just a humiliation. It was an annihilation. You can't do this. Oh, I can. And I already have. Marcus looked at her with eyes as cold as ice. Sign those papers. If you behave yourself and don't claim marital assets, maybe I'll be generous and give you cash for a Greyhound bus ticket, back to your little town in Wisconsin. Some people in the lobby started to whisper. Seeing the scene, Amara felt naked. Get out, Marcus hissed. But this is my home too. Not anymore, Marcus shouted. Security. 2 security guards approached. They looked uncomfortable, but they were clearly on the side of Marcus, the owner of the penthouse. I'm sorry, ma'am. Please don't make a scene, one of them said, gently grabbing Amara's arm. Amara was dragged out by force. She looked back, staring at Marcus with desperation. Marcus, please. Marcus just looked at her blankly, then turned around and walked toward the elevator. Up above, near the mezzanine railing, Amara could see Sienna's silhouette watching her victory. The heavy glass door of the lobby hissed shut behind Amara. Separating her from the life of the last 12 years, she was thrown onto the busy sidewalk under the Chicago sky, which was starting to darken, with only a duffel bag of old clothes and the divorce papers that insulted her. Night fell quickly in Chicago. The streetlights began to flicker on, but for Amara, the whole world seemed dark. She walked aimlessly. The sound of honking horns from the heavy traffic on Michigan Avenue sounded like roars in her ears. She had nowhere to go. Her mother in Wisconsin was still in recovery. She couldn't add the weight of this news to her mother's burden. Her feet carried her to Millennium Park. She sat on one of the empty benches, staring at the skyline. Her stomach growled. She hadn't eaten since morning. Ironically, all around her the restaurant patios were coming alive. The aroma of deep dish pizza, Italian beef sandwiches, and caramel popcorn floated in the air, making her stomach ache even more. People laughed. Young black couples walked hand in hand. Amara felt like a ghost, invisible, non-existent. She opened the wallet Marcus had thrown at her. Inside was about $8 in cash, not even enough for a night in a cheap motel on the outskirts. She pulled out her phone. Battery was at 5%. She rushed to open the mobile banking app for their joint account. Balance, 0. Marcus had cleaned her out, draining every dollar they had together, which also included the savings Amara had before getting married. A cold, heavy despair wrapped around her. It was over. She was truly at rock bottom. She would be homeless tonight. Tears fell without making a sound. She looked down at the contents of her wallet again. Behind the card slot was a faded photo, a picture of her father, Benedict Nkrumah, a simple grain farmer and merchant who died 12 years ago, just before Amara married Marcus. And behind that photo was something else. Amara's trembling fingers pulled it out, a faded green debit card that was already peeling at the edges. The logo was barely legible. Cornerstone Federal Bank, a small old regional bank. Amara was stunned. She remembered now that her father gave her this card when she was 19, back when she was moving out for the first time to go to college at Northwestern. "Keep this, my baby girl," her father had said back then, using a loving tone. His voice was soft but firm. "This is an account Papa created for you. Never use it unless it is absolutely necessary. Don't mix it with money. For your expenses. Imagine it doesn't exist." "How much is in it, Papa?" she had asked curiously. Her father just smiled mysteriously. "Enough to be an anchor. If you ever feel like your ship is going to sink, use this. But as long as you can sail, don't touch this anchor." Amara never used it. She forgot about it. She was busy with college. Then she met Marcus, busy building her husband's empire. She always thought the account would have, at most, a few $100s, the remainder of some allowance that wasn't used. But tonight, her ship wasn't just going to sink. Her ship was already blown to pieces. She held the card tight. The $8 in her wallet wasn't enough for anything, but maybe the rest of her father's money would be enough to buy a bus ticket back to Wisconsin. A small hope, as thin as a thread, began to light up in her tight chest. Amara didn't sleep all night. She took shelter under the awning of a clothes shop, hugging her duffel bag tight, waiting for morning to come. She was dirty, hungry, and scared, but the faded card felt warm in her hand. At 8 a.m., she was already standing in front of the branch of Cornerstone Federal Bank on a side street in downtown Chicago. The place was exactly as she remembered from her childhood visits, an old brick building that seemed anchored in the past, far from the impression of the modern glass and steel banks where Marcus kept his money. Inside, the atmosphere was quiet. There were only 2 tellers and a customer service desk. The smell of old paper and dust dominated the room. Amara took a number. She was the only customer. She was called to the customer service desk, manned by a young man in a white shirt. His name tag read, Jamal. "Good morning, ma'am. How can I help you?" Jamal was polite, though his eyes showed a bit of confusion seeing Amara's somewhat disheveled appearance. "Good morning," Amara's voice was hoarse. I want to check the balance, but the card is very old. I've also forgotten the PIN." Amara handed over the faded green card. Jamal took it. He turned the card over, frowning. "Wow, ma'am, this card is ancient. This is our old logo. Can it still be used?" Amara asked anxiously. "I'll check, ma'am." Jamal took Amara's ID, matching the name, Amara Nkrumah. He started typing on his computer. The system seemed slow. Jamal typed, clicked, and then frowned again. That's strange," he murmured. "What's wrong?" Amara's heart beat wildly. "The data isn't coming up directly. Ma'am, our legacy system is sometimes a little slow. It seems this account is in an inactive or dormant state. How long has it been since there were transactions?" "Maybe 12 years, Amara replied hesitantly. Jamal's eyes went wide. 12 years? One moment, ma'am. I'm going to try accessing the manual server." His fingers danced over the keyboard again. His computer screen flickered, showing rows of green code that Amara didn't understand. Silence. Only the sound of the keyboard and the noisy air conditioning could be heard. Amara bit her lip. It's over, she thought. Surely the account has been closed, the money lost. Jamal scratched his head. How odd. The balance isn't reading, ma'am, but there is a sort of flag, an alert on this account. A high-level alert. Alert? Does that mean I have debt? Amara panicked. No, not debt. I've never seen a code like this. One moment, ma'am. Jamal typed a series of commands. The computer seemed to think for a moment. Then, on Jamal's screen, something appeared. Jamal's face, which was relaxed before, suddenly changed. He went pale. His eyes opened wide, glued to the monitor. "Mr. Jamal?" Amara called out. Jamal didn't answer. He seemed frozen. He reread what was on the screen. His mouth opened slightly. Jamal swallowed hard. Suddenly, he stood up from his chair so fast that the chair flew backward, making a loud screech. "Mr. Baptiste! Mr. Director!" Jamal's voice was shrill, breaking the silence of the small bank. He didn't care about Amara anymore. His eyes were still glued with horror to the screen. A middle-aged black man with a stern look, Mr. Baptiste, the branch manager, stepped out of his office. "What is it, Jamal?" "Don't shout like that. There are customers," Mr. Baptiste scolded. His tone was flat. "I'm sorry, sir, but you have to see this." Jamal pointed at the screen with a trembling hand. An account in the name of Amara Nkrumah. Inheritance from her father, Benedict Nkrumah. Mr. Baptiste sighed, annoyed at being interrupted, and walked toward Jamal's desk, preparing to lecture his young employee. He glanced at the screen, and then he froze. His professional, rigid face crumbled in an instant. His expression changed from annoyance to confusion, and then to a deathly pallor. He looked at the screen, then looked at Amara, and then back at the screen. "Ma'am, Mrs. Amara Nkrumah? Mr. Baptiste asked. His voice, previously firm, was now trembling. Yes, sir, Amara whispered, scared. What's wrong? Was my father a criminal? Jamal, Mr. Baptiste ordered. Close your window quickly, put up the close sign. Take Mrs. Amara to my office right now. Don't let anyone see this screen. The order was so urgent and full of panic that Amara jumped. Jamal, stuttering, immediately put up the close sign and turned off his monitor. Come with me, Mom, Jamal said, now treating Amara with immense respect, almost with fear. In Mr. Baptiste's cramped office, the door was locked instantly. Mr. Baptiste paced from one side to the other for a moment before finally sitting in his chair. His hands shook slightly as he turned on his desk computer. Excuse me, ma'am. You caught us by surprise, Mr. Baptiste said. Actually, what is happening, sir? Did my father leave a huge debt? Amara asked. Her voice was on the verge of breaking into tears. Debt? Mr. Baptiste let out a nervous chuckle. No, ma'am. Far from it. He turned his computer monitor toward Amara. Jamal, who was standing in the room, pointed at the screen holding his breath. Ma'am, look at this quickly. The screen didn't show a balance in dollars. The screen showed an ownership structure diagram. Ma'am, Mr. Baptiste said, his voice low with astonishment. This account is not a normal savings account. This is a master account connected to a limited liability company, a corporation. Amara frowned. Corporation? LLC? Correct. Called Nkrumah Legacy Holdings, LLC. This company was founded by your father, Benedict Nkrumah, in 2001 and was left inactive exactly 22 years ago. But my father was just a grain merchant. That is what he wanted people to know, ma'am, Mr. Baptiste interrupted. Your father seems he wasn't just a merchant. He was a land broker, a genius one at that. Mr. Baptiste clicked on a tab on the screen. The title was List of Assets. Nkrumah Legacy Holdings, LLC. Mr. Baptiste continued reading the contents. It is the legal owner of 3,500 acres of soybean and corn farms in downstate Illinois, all under this deed. The sole ownership was transferred completely to you as the heir with a special clause. What clause? Amara whispered. This company activates automatically, and all its assets become accessible to the heir. Only if the heir accesses this master account in a desperate situation, or if the balance of their personal account is zero. Amara's jaw dropped. Her father had predicted this. She looked at the row of numbers on the screen. They weren't savings figures, but figures of land acreage. She didn't faint. She didn't scream. Amara simply sat up straight. The hunger, the exhaustion, and the humiliation she had felt for the last 24 hours evaporated. They were replaced by something else, something cold, sharp, and very strong. She remembered Marcus's mocking face. She remembered Sienna's victory smile. Mr. Baptiste, Amara said. Her voice was calm and cold, surprising herself. Yes, ma'am. How do I activate this company right now? Mr. Baptiste looked at Amara with concern. The reaction of the woman in front of him was totally unexpected. She wasn't crying. She wasn't screaming with joy. Her eyes, swollen from crying the night before, now hardened. She stared at the computer screen with a cold, terrifying focus. Mr. Baptiste, Amara repeated. Her voice was steady. What do I need to activate this? Mr. Baptiste stuttered. Technically, it is already active, ma'am. As soon as you access this account with a null personal balance, the clause was fulfilled. Our legal team managing the trust, well, they are already waiting for your instructions. Jamal. The young employee promptly poured a glass of water and placed it in front of Amara. Amara didn't drink it. My father, Benedict Nkrumah. What else do you know about him? Mr. Baptiste opened a drawer, pulling out a thick, dusty folder. Your father was a priority client, long before the term private banking existed. He left this, a letter, and legal documents. He said, this can only be opened by my daughter or by us if she has accessed the account. Mr. Baptiste handed over a yellowed envelope. Amara's hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was a sheet of paper, written neatly by hand. To my baby girl, Amara, if you are reading this, it means there are two possibilities. First, Papa is no longer here, and you are ready to start your own life. Second, life hasn't gone according to your plans. Papa was a merchant, it's true. But Papa also knew that this world isn't always fair to good black women like you. I saw how they treated your mother. Papa kept a small anchor for you, not to spoil you, but to ensure you have options when you feel cornered. Papa designed the desperate clause on purpose. I know you are smart, but your heart is too soft. I was afraid. If you had wealth, you would attract the wrong man. And if you didn't have wealth, you would be oppressed by the wrong man. Papa failed in one thing. I hope you never need to read this letter, but if you read it, remember Papa's message. Don't cry. Don't get revenge with tears. Build your own kingdom, my child. Make them regret it. The anchor has been dropped. Now sail, baby girl. Love, Papa. The tears she had been holding back finally fell. They weren't tears of sadness, but of understanding. Her father, the simple merchant, had seen the future. He had seen Marcus decades before Marcus existed. Amara wiped her tears with the back of her hand. She looked at Mr. Baptiste. I need 3 things, she said. What things, ma'am? First, cash. I don't have a dime. Of course. Jamal. Prepare a cash withdrawal from the operating account, Mr. Baptiste said. Second, Amara continued, I need a place to stay temporarily, a secure hotel, far from the prestige apartments. That can be arranged. We have corporate rates with secure hotels. Third, and this is the most important, Amara leaned forward. I need all the financial data of Nkrumah Legacy Holdings, LLC, and I need a recommendation for the best business restructuring consultant, not from around here. I want someone from the Loop Financial District, someone who doesn't know Marcus. Mr. Baptiste was stunned for a moment, impressed by the composure of the woman who, 30 minutes ago, looked like a homeless person. I know a name, Mr. Baptiste said. They nickname him the strategist. Very expensive, very cold. His name is Rashid. Good, Amara said. Give me the money, book me the hotel, and organize my meeting with Rashid. Amara didn't stay at the hotel Mr. Baptiste booked. That was her first step, not being predictable. After taking a considerable amount of cash, enough to make her dizzy if it had been yesterday, she bought a new phone, a new number, and several sets of simple but clean clothes at a nearby mall. Then she booked a room at the Four Seasons, one of the most luxurious hotels in Chicago, under a fake name. For 24 hours, she locked herself in the room. She ordered room service, ate her first decent meal, took a hot bath, and slept. She let her brain process the destruction and rebirth in a single day. The next morning, she didn't call Rashid. She knew someone like Rashid wouldn't be impressed with a phone call. Amara went to the financial district in the Loop. Rashid's office was in one of the skyscrapers. Minimalist, cold, all glass and steel. Amara, in her new clothes, simple but neat, contrasted with the setting. I want to see Mr. Rashid. I don't have an appointment, she told the receptionist. Mr. Rashid is busy, ma'am. His schedule is full for the next 3 months. Tell him, Amara said calmly. Amara Nkrumah, owner of Nkrumah Legacy Holdings, LLC, assets of 3,500 acres. This is urgent. The receptionist hesitated, but the words 3,500 acres made her pick up the phone. 5 minutes later, Amara was ushered into a corner office with a view of all of Chicago. Rashid was a black man in his late 30s. He didn't smile. He wore a dress shirt with no tie, but he looked more formal than Marcus ever did in his suits. His eyes were sharp, analyzing Amara. I only have 10 minutes, Mrs. Nkrumah, Rashid said. His voice was deep and flat. Nkrumah Legacy Holdings, dormant company, agricultural assets. What is the problem? Amara sat down without being invited. The problem, Mr. Rashid, Amara said, is that this company just woke up. The assets are large, but I don't know anything about soybeans, corn, or how to run it. And I have another problem that must be solved. What problem? My ex-husband, a real estate investor in Chicago. His name is Marcus. He demands a share. He doesn't know about this. Rashid raised an eyebrow. This is interesting. What do you want from me? I want you to restructure this company from the ground up. Audit everything. Make it an active, modern, profitable company. And I want you to be my personal advisor, Amara said. I want to know how to use this power. Rashid stared at her for a long time. I am expensive, ma'am. I know, Amara replied. I don't deal with personal dramas. I'm not asking you to deal with drama. I'm asking you to teach me how to win a business war. The drama is the bonus." Rashid smiled slightly, his first smile. "When do we start?" "Yesterday," Amara replied. 2 weeks passed. Chicago didn't know what was happening in the offices. Amara and Rashid's small team worked 20 hours a day. They dissected Nkrumah Legacy Holdings, LLC. It turned out the assets were greater than estimated. Amara's father hadn't just bought land. He also bought small shares in various agri-food companies, whose value had now skyrocketed. Amara learned fast. She devoured financial reports, studied property laws, and learned the fundamentals of agribusiness management. Rashid watched her. This client was different. She didn't panic. She wasn't greedy. She was focused. She was like a dry sponge, absorbing all the information. During those 2 weeks, Amara also transformed herself. She cut her long, dull hair into a short, firm, elegant bob. She threw out all her old clothes with the help of a personal shopper hired by Rashid. Her closet now contained tailored suits, silk blouses, and simple but classy dresses in strong colors: charcoal, emerald, and wine. Reading glasses replaced her contacts. High heels replaced sandals. But the biggest change was in her eyes. There was no fear anymore, only calculation. "Are you ready to get back in the ring, ma'am?" Rashid asked one afternoon. "I'm ready," Amara said. They didn't go to the hotel. Under Amara's orders, Rashid's team had worked discreetly in Chicago. They bought an old mansion in the Kenwood area. Not a flashy new McMansion, like Marcus liked, but a historic, solid, elegant building that emanated an aura of old black power and generational wealth. The house was paid for in cash. When Amara walked into her new mansion, she was no longer the Amara who was kicked out of the apartment lobby. She was Miss Amara Nkrumah, CEO of Nkrumah Legacy Holdings, LLC. Meanwhile, in the penthouse at the Prestige, Marcus and Sienna's life was at its peak. "This project, babe," Marcus exclaimed one night while pouring champagne for Sienna. "This is going to change the game." Marcus, after managing to kick Amara out, felt invincible. His real estate business was frantically looking for new projects. "I have inside info." His eyes shone with greed. "There's prime land, thousands of acres down in downstate Illinois, coming onto the market. They say it's going to be opened up for a luxury development. I have to get the construction contract." Sienna, who was busy taking selfies with her champagne glass, was only half listening. "Oh yeah, great. That means our wedding can be in the Maldives, right? And I want that new Chanel bag, the quilted leather one." "Sure, whatever for you," Marcus said. But deep down, he was a little anxious. To get such a big project, he needed a huge capital injection. He needed investors. His company honestly had quite a few debts here and there to finance their lavish lifestyle. "I'll organize meetings with all possible investors," Marcus murmured. A few days later, Marcus heard rumors in Chicago business circles. "Did you hear?" an acquaintance said. "There's a new player in town investing like crazy, bought a mansion in Kenwood. Cash. Brought in a consultant from the Loop. That guy Rashid, the strategist." "What's the name?" Marcus asked. "Interesting. No one knows exactly, very secretive, but the company name is old. Nkrumah Legacy Holdings, LLC. Ring a bell?" Marcus shook his head. Old-fashioned name, probably some old money folks just realizing their assets. This is the opportunity. Marcus immediately ordered his secretary to find a way to contact Nkrumah Legacy Holdings. He had to present his proposal for the development in downstate Illinois. He didn't know that the lands he coveted were the very ones listed in Amara's deed. The invitation arrived. Nkrumah Legacy Holdings LLC was interested in hearing the proposal from Marcus's company. The meeting would be held at the CEO's residence in the Kenwood mansion. Marcus felt on top of the world. "Look, Sienna, they invited me. Surely they've heard of my reputation." That morning, Marcus put on his most expensive suit. He rehearsed his presentation in front of the mirror. He was determined to dazzle this mysterious investor. He arrived at the mansion. The high wrought iron gate opened slowly. He walked into a majestic but cool foyer. The walls were marble, the furniture antique and heavy. An assistant with a formal look received him. "Good afternoon, Mr. Marcus. Please wait in the meeting room. Our CEO will join you shortly." Marcus was led to a grand library transformed into a meeting room. On one side was a very long mahogany table. On the other, tall windows overlooked a manicured garden. At the end of the table sat a man looking at his laptop. Rashid. Marcus thought he was the boss. "Good afternoon, sir." Rashid looked up. His eyes were cold. "I am Rashid, consultant. Sit down. Mr. Marcus, our CEO is on the way." Marcus sat down. He started to feel a little nervous. The atmosphere in this room was too heavy, too silent. 5 minutes passed like an hour. Suddenly, the double doors behind Marcus opened. Marcus didn't turn around. He heard the sound of footsteps, high heels, click, clack, click, clack. A firm and rhythmic sound on the marble floor. "Sorry for the wait." A voice was heard, a familiar voice, but impossible. Marcus froze. He knew that voice, but this voice was cold, full of authority. He turned his chair slowly. The footsteps stopped at the other end of the table. There stood Amara, her hair perfectly styled. She was wearing an emerald power dress that wrapped her body perfectly. Reading glasses rested on her nose. Her face was made up subtly, but professionally. She looked at Marcus. There was no hatred in her eyes, no love, nothing. Just the look of a superior at a subordinate. Marcus's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Amara sat calmly in the head chair. Rashid stood beside her, handing her a tablet. Amara looked at Marcus and then smiled. The smile didn't reach her eyes. "Good afternoon, Mr. Marcus," she said. Her clear voice filled the room. "I am Amara Nkrumah, CEO of Nkrumah Legacy Holdings, LLC." She leaned in a little. "Please begin your presentation. I heard you're very interested in the lands in downstate Illinois." Amara paused, letting her words sink in. Casually, she continued in a relaxed tone. "Coincidentally, all the land you covet for your ambitious project belongs to me." Silence. The silence in the meeting room was so thick that Marcus could hear his own heart beating in his ears. A joke. This has to be a joke. But Amara's eyes, the eyes that used to look at him with adoration, were now as cold as the marble beneath his feet. "Amara." Marcus managed to emit a sound. His voice cracked. This is impossible. 3,500 acres. Nkrumah Legacy. "Where did you get the money?" Amara leaned back in her chair, not answering that question. She turned to Rashid. "Mr. Rashid, what do you think of the initial proposal from Marcus Real Estate, Inc.?" Rashid, who had been silent like a shadow, spoke. His voice was flat and lethal. "Conceptually ambitious, but financially very weak. Mr. Marcus, your proposal does not include adequate risk analysis, and your profit projections are too optimistic." Marcus felt as if he had been doused with ice water. He came to dazzle a foolish investor. Instead, he was being audited. "Wait," Marcus said, trying to control himself. His arrogance started to return, looking for logical explanations. "I know, Amara must just be a puppet. This man Rashid is the one in control. Amara just got lucky." He said, trying a softer tone, the tone he used to use to cajole Amara. "I don't know what happened to you, but this is big business. Maybe we can collaborate. I mean, you know me. I'm the best investor in Chicago." Amara smiled slightly. "Oh, I know you very well, Marcus." Then, she stood up. "I don't have more time, but I will give you a chance." Hope lit up instantly in Marcus's eyes. "My team," Amara looked at Rashid, "will do due diligence, a complete due diligence of your company. We need to see your accounting, your list of assets, and your list of debts. We will not invest a single dollar in a company that is not transparent." Marcus hesitated. Opening his books would be a disaster. His company wasn't as healthy as he bragged. "Why does it have to be so complicated?" he asked. "It's me, Am." He stopped. "Your ex-husband." "Precisely for that reason, Mr. Marcus," Rashid interrupted. "We must be professional. Take it or leave it. If you reject the audit, we will consider your proposal void and offer our land to another developer. I heard your competition from Lincoln Park is very interested." That was a threat. Marcus was cornered. If he withdrew, he lost the biggest project of his life. If he moved forward, he had to open his wounds. "Fine," Marcus said. "Forced. Fine. Audit. I'm not hiding anything." Amara nodded. Mr. Rashid's team will contact you. Good afternoon. Marcus was escorted out of the mansion. He got into his car with his knees shaking. He didn't know if he had just escaped danger or if he had just walked into a trap. What he knew was that the Amara he'd just met scared him. Marcus returned to the apartment at the Prestige in a mess. "Babe," Sienna greeted, jumping off the sofa. She was wearing new silk lingerie. "How did it go? Are we rich yet? When can we start planning the wedding in the Maldives?" "Shut up for a second, Sienna. I'm thinking," Marcus shouted, throwing his jacket on the floor. Sienna was surprised. "Hey, why are you yelling at me?" Marcus paced back and forth. "The investor is complicated. It's really messed up." "What do you mean complicated? Did they say no?" Sienna asked. Her tone was starting to get anxious. "No, not yet. But my God, you're not going to believe this." Marcus pulled his hair. "The investor, the CEO, is Amara." Sienna froze. "What? Amara? The homeless woman?" "She's not homeless anymore," Marcus growled. She is different. She has a mansion in Kenwood. She has a financial consultant. She owns the land." Sienna's beautiful face went pale. This was the worst-case scenario, not because she loved Marcus, but because her status, her luxuries, and her future depended on Marcus's wallet. And now that wallet was threatened by the woman she had despised the most. "Surely it's a bluff," Sienna shrieked. "She can't be that smart. Surely she hooked up with some old rich man. Yes, that's it. She's a kept woman." Marcus wasn't listening. "She wants to audit my company. What am I going to do?" Sienna's panic transformed into anger. "That woman. Who does she think she is? Coming back and ruining everything. I'll handle her," Sienna hissed. "Handle what? Don't get involved." But Sienna already had a plan. She knew where the new black elite of Chicago gathered. She would find Amara. She would humiliate that woman in public, reminding her who she really was. A few days later, Sienna, through a friend, discovered Amara's location, a luxury boutique cafe in the new office area of the Gold Coast. Sienna arrived with full force, designer clothes from the latest season, a flashy bag, heavy makeup. She saw Amara sitting alone in a corner, reading documents on a tablet while drinking tea. Sienna slammed her hand directly on the table, making noise on purpose. Well, look who's here," Sienna said. Her voice was projected so everyone could hear. "Mrs. Amara Nkrumah, right? Moving fast, huh? Climbing classes, from being thrown out in the lobby to sitting in an expensive cafe." Amara looked up slowly, looked at Sienna, and then went back to looking at her tablet. She said nothing. That indifference made Sienna even angrier. "Hey, I'm talking to you, witch. Don't play deaf. Who do you think you are, huh? You're bothering Marcus. Stay away from him. He is mine now." Amara sighed. She put down her tablet. "Yours?" Amara asked. Her voice was calm. "Things that are owned are usually objects. Miss Sienna isn't human. Don't give me lessons. I know your game. You came back to steal Marcus from me again, right? Because he's successful." Amara let out a little chuckle, a cold laugh. "Steal Marcus, Miss Sienna? Why would I bother picking up the trash I already threw out?" Sienna's face turned red. Amara stood up. Now she was at eye level with Sienna. "Listen well," Amara whispered. But the intensity made Sienna take a step back. "I'm not interested in Marcus. I'm interested in his company. And if you want to know," Amara looked at the flashy bag Sienna was holding. "Marcus came to me begging me to finance his project. He isn't even capable of paying for your lifestyle without begging me. Liar." "Ah, yes." Amara pulled out a black credit card, the Centurion card, from her wallet. A card made of metal. "Today I feel generous," she called the waiter. "The check, please, and also for this lady. I'm paying." Amara looked at Sienna. "Consider it charity. You need it more than I do." She grabbed her tablet and walked out, leaving Sienna frozen in shame, turned into a spectacle for the entire cafe. The bait game had worked. Marcus was humiliated by the urgent need to hand over all his financial documents to Rashid's team. Meanwhile, Amara humiliated Sienna in the cafe. Rashid's team gathered in the war room of the Kenwood mansion. "This isn't a company, Miss Amara," Rashid said, pointing at the large screen showing the cash flow of Marcus Real Estate Inc. "This is a house of cards built on air." "Explain," Amara said. "First," Rashid said, "materials. He charges his clients for premium materials, but reports show he buys discount grade. He takes a 45% profit just on material embezzlement. This is illegal and dangerous. Amara remembered a small condo project Marcus bragged about. Her stomach turned. Second, debts, Rashid continued. He doesn't have bank debts. He's too smart for that. He gets into debt with small suppliers, concrete companies, local lumber yards, small equipment rental firms. He delays their payments for months, even years, knowing they don't have the legal strength to fight him. The list of supplier names appeared on the screen. Amara recognized some names. And third, taxes, Rashid said. He keeps 2 books, one for himself, one for the IRS. His tax evasion is massive. Amara sat in silence. The man she was married to for 12 years, the man she cared for when he was sick, turned out to be a scammer, an extortionist, and a thief. Good, Amara said. Her voice was steady. Rashid looked at her. Good? Yes. This gives us a weapon. What is the next step? Marcus is only focused on us, on those 3,500 acres, Rashid explained. He doesn't realize that his debt to the small suppliers is his weakest point. I want you, Amara. He stopped, thinking about the strategy. I want you to buy all that debt, Rashid smiled. I assumed so. I have prepared 3 shell companies in Delaware. We will buy every outstanding invoice from those suppliers. We will pay cash. The suppliers will be happy, Amara said. They will be very happy. And Marcus, Rashid added, will know nothing. He will only feel relieved because the collectors will stop calling him. He will think we are going to give him capital. How much time? Amara asked. Give me a week. In a week, Marcus Real Estate Inc. will no longer owe anything to the small merchants, Rashid said. He will owe me. Exactly as Rashid predicted, Marcus suddenly felt his life was easier. The calls from angry suppliers stopped. He considered this a good sign. He thought the news that he was going to collaborate with Nkrumah Legacy Holdings had scared the suppliers off. He was very wrong. Feeling the pressure decrease, Marcus decided it was time to take the last step. He had to secure Amara, not on a business level, but personal. He knew the Amara of before was weak, forgiving, and still loved him. He sent a bouquet of yellow tulips, Amara's favorites back then, to the Kenwood mansion with a note. I know I was wrong. Let's talk like old times. Dinner at our usual spot. Amara almost threw the flowers away, but Rashid stopped her. Go, Rashid said. Let him dig his own grave deeper. That night, Amara went to the upscale restaurant where Marcus had proposed to her. Marcus was already waiting. He looked impeccable. He ordered the most expensive champagne. He said, taking Amara's hand across the table. Amara allowed it. Her skin felt cold. I ask for your forgiveness. Amara just looked at him, waiting. I know I was very wrong, Marcus continued. His eyes got misty. His performance was perfect. Sienna, she is just a toy. I was pressured. Business is hard. And you were busy with your mother. I felt lonely, so... Was it my fault? Was it my fault? Amara asked. Her voice was calm. No, it was my fault. Marcus rushed to correct himself. I was blind. I didn't see the diamond I had until I saw you in the meeting room the other day. I realized. Realized what? How fantastic you are. We can be the best team. Marcus leaned in. I've already left Sienna. She's already out of the apartment. It was a lie. Sienna was shopping with his credit card at that very moment. We can start over, Marcus whispered. We will dominate Chicago. You with your land, me with my expertise. Forget Rashid. You don't need him. You only need me. Amara withdrew her hand slowly. Your seduction is good, Marcus. Better than your business presentation, she said coldly. Marcus was surprised. Maybe you're right, Amara continued, as if thinking. Marcus had hope again. We really have to fix this, but I can't mix personal and business. Sure. Let's finish the business matter first, Amara said. I've already seen the result of your audit. And Marcus asked anxiously. And we need to talk seriously, Amara said. Tomorrow in my office at 10 o'clock a.m. Bring your lawyer if necessary. Once that is over, then we can talk about us. Amara stood up, leaving Marcus with a bottle of expensive champagne and a sly smile, thinking he had just won. At 10 o'clock a.m., meeting room of the mansion. Marcus arrived alone, without a lawyer. He brought another bouquet of tulips. He was very confident. He thought this meeting was just a formality before he and Amara reconciled. He entered the room. The atmosphere was far from romantic. Amara was already seated in the head chair. Rashid was standing beside her. On the long mahogany table, there were no coffee cups, but stacks of thick legal documents. Babe," Marcus greeted, trying to break the ice with the flowers. "Sit down, Marcus," Amara said, her voice cutting. Marcus sat. His smile faltered. "Let's get to the point," Amara said. "Mr. Rashid." Rashid stepped forward, placing a binder of documents in front of Marcus. "Mr. Marcus, this is the list of debts of Marcus Real Estate, Inc., Rashid said. To Alvarez Concrete, a total of $150,000. To Murphy Lumber Supply, $75,000. To Chen Machinery Rentals, $300,000, and so on. The total verified debt with 15 suppliers is $750,000. Marcus's face paled. "What does this mean? I'm negotiating with them." "They no longer need negotiation," Amara interrupted, "because everyone has been paid in full." Marcus looked at Amara confused. "Paid by whom?" Amara pointed to herself. "By me," Rashid pushed the second binder of documents. "Through 3 investment companies affiliated with Nkrumah Legacy Holdings, LLC. We have acquired or bought all those outstanding invoices. Copies of the debt assignment deeds are in front of you." Marcus opened the first sheet. His heart seemed to stop. "In other words, Marcus?" Amara leaned in, looking directly into the eyes of the man who had destroyed her. "Your company no longer owes anything to those small merchants." Amara paused, letting the silence fill the room. "Your company now owes me. Me." Marcus couldn't breathe. I can pay in installments." "Oh, of course," Amara said, "but I'm not interested in doing business with you, and I'm not interested in getting back with you. I want my money back." She slapped the documents in front of Marcus. "According to the assignment clause, this debt is due. Now you have 24 hours to liquidate those $750,000 in cash." 24 hours? That's impossible." "No one has that much cash," Marcus shouted, finally panicking. "I do," Amara replied coldly. You set a trap for me." "A trap?" Amara stood up. "I am only claiming what is my right, just like you kept all my rights before. If in 24 hours you cannot pay..." Amara put the third binder of documents on the stack. "Our legal team will immediately register the lien on that penthouse in the Prestige, on your office, and on all your equipment. Good morning, Mr. Marcus. 24 hours. Marcus never knew how short 24 hours were. After leaving Amara's mansion, he didn't go back to the apartment. He panicked. He spent the first hour driving aimlessly, cursing Amara, Rashid, and the whole world. The second hour, he started calling. He called his bank manager. "I need a loan of $750,000. The collateral is my project in downstate Illinois." The bank manager laughed on the other end of the phone. "Marcus, don't joke. You don't have that project secured yet. Besides, your credit limit is already tapped out to finance. Well, you know." Marcus hung up the phone abruptly. From the 3rd to the 10th hour, he spent calling all his business contacts. Every friend he had invited for expensive drinks, every small official he had tipped. The answer was the same. "Oof, tough, Marcus." Or, "Sorry, I'm out of town." Or they didn't pick up the phone. The news of his downfall, which somehow started at the mansion meeting, spread faster than fire. Hour 11. In his desperation, he returned to the penthouse. Sienna was trying on a new outfit she had just bought that afternoon. "How does it look, babe? Nice, right?" "Sell it," Marcus shouted. "What? Sell it all," Marcus shouted with red eyes. "Sell your bags, sell your jewelry. We are bankrupt." Sienna's beautiful face went pale. These are gifts, not investments." "Are you crazy?" "Amara set a trap for me," Marcus raved. "That snake woman bought my debts. She gave us 24 hours to pay $750,000. Sienna didn't care about the debt. She only heard one thing. The money ran out. At 10 a.m. sharp the next day, exactly 24 hours later, the doorbell of his penthouse rang. Marcus, who hadn't slept all night, opened it. He hoped it was Amara coming to cancel her threat after softening up. No. In front of the door was Rashid, calm as a statue. Behind him, 2 well-dressed lawyers and a man in an official uniform holding a thick folder, the county marshal. Your time is up, Mr. Marcus, Rashid said flatly. Wait, I need time. Time is a luxury you didn't give Amara, Rashid interrupted. He took a step forward. According to the order from the Cook County Circuit Court, we are here to execute the lien on this asset. The marshal, Bob, began putting seizure stickers on the wall of the apartment foyer. No, this is my house, Marcus shouted. Technically, it is the collateral for your debt to my client, the lawyer corrected. You and this young lady, he looked at Sienna with disdain, are required to vacate these premises in 1 hour. Take your essential personal effects. 1 hour later, the scene in the lobby of the Prestige turned into a spectacle. Marcus, the same man who 12 years ago felt like the king of the place, was escorted out by security guards, the same guards who threw Amara out before. Sienna followed him crying hysterically, dragging 2 suitcases full of her designer bags. Marcus wasn't just bankrupt on paper. Now he was literally on the street, back at the ground zero he created for Amara. On the hot sidewalk in front of the lobby, the real drama had just begun. This is all your fault, Sienna shrieked, hitting Marcus's chest. You said you were rich. You said you were great. Turns out you're just a scammer. Marcus, who had already lost everything, unloaded his remaining anger on the only target left. My fault? Your fault? Who asked for Chanel bags every week? Who asked for vacations in the Maldives? You made me spend. Parasite! Parasite! Sienna's jaw dropped. Their fight was so loud it became a public spectacle. They didn't realize that across the street someone was recording the fight with their phone. I didn't sign up for this, Sienna shrieked. I'm done. She dragged her suitcase trying to hail a cab. Where are you going? You won't survive without me, Marcus mocked. You'll see. Sienna went to a luxury hotel trying to book a room with the unlimited credit card Marcus gave her. I'm sorry, ma'am. Declined, the receptionist said coldly. She tried another card. Declined. All declined. Marcus had blocked everything, or it was the bank. Sienna panicked. She called her high society friends. Girl, I have a problem. Can you lend me? The phone cut off. She called another. Hello? I have bad signal. Phone turned off. She didn't know. Amara, through her new network, didn't need to do anything. Rashid just had to leak Marcus's audit report to a few key people. The news that Marcus was a scammer and Sienna, the side chick linked to a bankrupt scammer, had spread through all the group chats of Chicago's elite. She was toxic. No one wanted to associate with her. That night, the recording of her fight with Marcus in front of the building went viral on local gossip blogs. Her beautiful face was now associated with bankruptcy and cheap drama. Her influencer career was finished. The doors of the high-class world closed. Sienna, who once felt on top of the world, now had to sell her authentic bags and some fakes she just discovered Marcus gave her, one by one, just to survive. Back to the obscurity she hated so much. 2 weeks after the seizure, Amara sat with Rashid in the meeting room of her mansion. The mahogany table was now full of blueprints. All assets of Marcus Real Estate, Inc. have been liquidated, Rashid informed. His office, his equipment, and the penthouse. Everything is enough to cover the debt of $750,000 plus interest and legal costs. Good, Amara said. What will we do with the penthouse? We can sell it. Amara shook her head. No. Sell all the luxury furniture inside. Empty it. Then give the keys to Mr. Baptiste at Cornerstone Bank. Tell them to give it as a bonus gift to Jamal. Rashid raised an eyebrow, a little surprised by the touch of cynical humor. Jamal? The bank teller? Yes, he deserves it. He was the first one to help me. Very well, ma'am. And the 3,500 acres? Will we proceed with the luxury development plan? Amara stood up, walking toward the large window, looking at the garden. She remembered her father's letter. Build your own kingdom. Marcus wanted to build a palace for the rich that people like me could only see from outside the gate, Amara said. I will do the opposite. She went back to the table and pointed at the new blueprints. I am going to build homes. She said that Nkrumah Legacy Holdings LLC would use the first 400 acres to build dignified, subsidized housing, complete with a school and a small medical center. For whom, Rashid asked, now truly interested. For the workers in our soybean and corn farms, and for the owners of the small suppliers who were almost destroyed by Marcus. They will have priority and special discounts, and the machinery seized from Marcus We will use it to build those houses, Amara said, with a faint smile. It's poetic justice. Rashid looked at her with undisguised admiration. Not only that, Amara added. On another 35 acres, I want to build a training center, the Nkrumah Center. A training facility for modern agribusiness and small business management. I want people like my father to have the chance to succeed without having to hide. Amara wasn't just getting revenge, she was building a legacy. Amara was done with Marcus, but the law wasn't. Marcus, who was now living poorly in a shared apartment on the south side, thought the worst had passed. He thought that after losing everything to Amara, he was free. One afternoon, while eating instant ramen, there was a knock on the door. Police? Mr. Marcus, you are under arrest. What is this now? My debt to Amara is paid. This isn't about debts, the officer said. This is about the use of substandard materials on the condo project in Rockford and tax fraud. Marcus froze. How did they know? He didn't know that Rashid, on behalf of a client concerned about public safety, had anonymously sent copies of Marcus's double ledger and the lab results of the poor quality materials to the district attorney and the IRS. He built a condo that could collapse, Rashid. Amara had said at that moment. It could kill people. This is no longer about him and me. It's about justice. The news of Marcus's arrest was a local headline. Elite investor falls, alleged corruption and fraud. In her mansion, Amara watched the news on the large TV. She looked at Marcus's face, gaunt and angry, being escorted away. She felt nothing, neither anger nor satisfaction. That chapter was finally closed. She turned off the TV. 1 year later, Nkrumah Legacy Holdings LLC was no longer a dormant and mysterious company. The company was now one of the new economic pillars in the Midwest. Amara had revolutionized her farms with sustainable practices, raising wages for workers, and building modern facilities. The Nkrumah Training Center had already opened, and the first class had graduated. The first phase of subsidized housing was full. Amara was no longer called Madam Director with a tone of fear. The old workers called her Ms. Amara, or Ben's daughter, with respect and affection. She was standing on a hill on her farm, looking at the green expanse under the afternoon sun. She was no longer the disheveled woman in the lobby of the Prestige, nor the cold woman in the meeting room. She was Amara, complete. Footsteps were heard behind her. Amara, the view is beautiful, Rashid said. He was no longer wearing a formal suit, just a casual linen shirt. Now he spent more time in the country than in Chicago. Yes, Amara said, smiling, a sincere smile. My father called this an anchor. Turns out this anchor can be used to build many things. You have built your kingdom, Amara, Rashid said. We, Amara corrected. We built it. Rashid smiled. My team in Chicago keeps asking when I'm coming back. Seems I need to give them an answer. And what is your answer? Amara asked, looking at him. Rashid didn't answer with words. He took a step forward, looked at Amara, and then held out his hand. I am no longer needed as a consultant. The strategist, they said. No, Amara replied, accepting his hand. The grip was firm. Now I need you as a partner. They stood there, watching the sunset over their kingdom. A kingdom that wasn't built on greed or lies, but on the rubble of betrayal and raised again with the foundations of justice and a new legacy. Did you like the story, and which city are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments. If you liked the story, you can support me by sending a super thanks so I can keep bringing more stories like this. Thank you so much for your sweet support. I'm looking forward to your comments on the story. On the screen, you can see 2 new life stories that I highly recommend. There's so much more on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next life story with love and respect.